How lovely to see you again, my beloved friend. How are you?
Hello. I'm good.
Good.
You?
Wonderful.
Well, actually not good, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, we also have days where we are not on top, knowing that awakening
Days.
does. Yeah,
I
days.
feel like the summer was not on top.
Now let's get back to and talk about that later because we're going to tap into that. But I just want to mention, and I think this could maybe help other people as well, that being awake doesn't mean to come on a pink cloud and life becomes perfect. It really means
No.
by waking up with whatever there is. So even if me and Pernilla are sitting here feeling sad, angry, frustrating, and life is not as we really want it to be, it's okay. We can, I think that our process helps us to be more present in even the most hard times, right?
Yeah. I mean, being awake means to be fully surrendered to whatever comes.
Yeah.
And that's the work, is to find a way to work with the resistance to the negative things that comes in our lives. Like, we don't want to feel bad. So when sad or difficult things happen, we resist. And that's where we get separated from the flow of the universe and the present moment. So, no one said that awakeness means that you don't get sick and people don't die, right?
No, but I think that's important to underline, because
Yeah.
we don't do this podcast in a sense of being perfect or striving for anything. It's really, as you just said, to take it exactly as it comes.
Mhm. Exactly.
I just want to do a short introduction for people joining us for the first time. So I'm here with Pernilla Berg, who's the founder and the creator of this podcast, but also the website awakening101.com. And Pernilla is based in the US. I am here in Denmark, and my name is Louise. And we are doing this podcast in hope to inspire people to be more awake. And what does that mean, Pernilla?
No
I became
idea.
very serious.
You're like, we're inspiring people to, yeah.
Yeah, you can take that out later on.
No, this is great. So, yeah, we just try to inspire people to continue their journey to self-discovery and transformation. So I know that sounds silly maybe and hokey, but Louise and I have gone through a lot of ups and downs in our lives, including addiction and depression and everything like that. And we've discovered a lot of things throughout that journey, and we want to share it with you in hopes that people will see awakening or this sort of profound presence or surrender as something that you can also do in your life. It's not just for Eckhart Tolle.
No, but no, and I think you're right, because I think that right now we're both in a situation or situations that are quite challenging, that are creating a lot of hard feelings and maybe negative feelings and stuff like that. And I think that by this podcast and by our journey and the things we are doing, we can better cope with the differences in life and these things that one time the life condition might be very high, and in a short second you could be in a very low life condition. And I think that for both of us, and and I experienced that very much yesterday, that this awakening process for me has really been to, as you said, to surrender to the present moment and to what it is. And in the end of the day, I end up with myself wherever I go. So if I don't, I better start enjoying myself. Yeah, but really, and it really comes like,
That's
hey.
that's the John Kabat-Zinn book. Wherever I go, there I am. Or I remember the exact title.
Yeah,
Wherever I
okay.
go, there I am.
So
Just
true.
the same
But
thing.
they said that in NA as well. In NA, they said it too. Remember, the addiction never takes vacation. That thing of, I want to just go to Hawaii and sit and be happy, and then everything will be okay.
Never happens.
You end up with yourself in the end of the day, even on vacation. Yeah. So let's get started today with today's topic. Today's topic is connection. And Pernilla has written a wonderful blog on your website that I would suggest people to go in and read. It's under blogs on your website, and it calls
It's called
Connection.
My Search for Connection.
Yeah, my search for connection.
Yeah, which is not a great title, I guess.
Why not?
I
Why are you
don't
being
know.
critic?
It's a little plain. A little okay, whatever. Who cares?
Now you're being, now you're being critical and you're being not kind to yourself. I actually think it's a very, very nice title. I think it was so simple.
Okay, well that's good. I care what you think.
Yeah, but let's start be the search of let's start there. Let's start with
Yeah, I
your
mean,
story of connection.
I think that overall it is it's something that we are all looking for in certain degrees, but we don't really know that that's what we're looking for.
Mm.
Like even at the very, very sort of extreme disconnection, for example, like social media is the ultimate human sort of modern way that we try to connect with each other, even though to me and you who might be like sort of the yogis, we're like, well, that doesn't really connect you to anything, but that's what we're all trying to do, be connected to other people. And the same thing with animals, that's what they're trying to do. They're I look at the geese at the barn, they walk around in droves. They're never one geese, they're like 10, and they walk around in a group, because they're connected to each other, and then they start flying at the same time. It's like the nature of this is innate in us, and not just in animals, but also in humans. And in humans, I think that we just sort of lose track of that. Like I think about elderly people living on their own. They are completely disconnected because they can't leave the house. I mean, I can go on and on and on about this, but the human connection is feeling like you belong, feeling like you're heard, feeling that people listen to you is the building blocks of what I'm talking about when it comes to connection. So, for little kids, it's their daycare center and their family. Then we get bigger, and we go to like high school, and we're connected to our friends at high school and our family. And then throughout life, we have different things that make that happen. And for me, I guess now I'm jumping ahead like crazy, but for me, that the blog talks about how, in the end, the thing that I was looking for, which I also searched with alcohol and drugs, which because when you're high, you feel like you connect to everybody, But in the end, it was the true connection was that thing that is within us already that I found through meditation. Because when the thought stream is calmer, you can see that you actually feel connected to something greater than yourself. And if people can call it God or whatever it is, but that it took me a long time to figure it out. But that was what I was missing, at least felt like I was missing throughout my life. So,
But
but
can
yeah,
yeah, I think this is such a huge
yeah. I sorry,
topic.
I just like threw a
Coughed
bunch of crap
right
at
in
you.
my ear. That's okay. I still love you. I still
I
love you.
coughed in it.
I feel connected to you. I feel
Yeah,
connected.
we're connected,
We
maybe.
connected. No, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's funny because you can play with the word connection. You can play with, when you put electricity into something and things connect and it creates an energy and it kind of lights up the present moment. And I would
Mm-hmm.
like to actually rewind, going all the way back to the first connection we get as a human being, which must be with our mother,
Yeah.
with the person giving birth to us, knowing that, we have heard so many people talking about that instinct connection that you as a mother give to your child, which
Yeah.
is, and I don't want to be judging, and I can even rewind to my own experience of giving birth to my first child, which was, I was so sick, I was almost about to die, losing so much blood. So of course my connection was not there. But I think that connection of looking in someone's eyes and just feel heart to heart, to see each other's souls. I mean, if I would have had that knowing today and give
Mm-hmm.
birth again, then of course but circumstances are like they are. We can't change them,
Yeah.
and we become wiser with life, and it's important to not, we can't change the past. But I really think that, I had a client and she said to me, I really want to be more present with my child. And I say, wow, that's beautiful. I mean, so for this summer, when we spent some time together, I think you have a beautiful connection with your children. When I saw you with the children, which also resonates your children's connection with me and the surroundings. So it's like it becomes circles on a big ocean.
But it's like a dial of a frequency when they're feeling connected to something, it's easier to connect to people outside of their inner circle. But I have to say that I think that when you have your first child, and I mean, this could go for animals with people without kids, or, you know, siblings and mothers and whatever, but because they're fully present, I think it brings in an ability for mothers like you and me to feel connected to them because they allow it. So
I have a question there. I have a question. And this is question, you know, you say that they are fully present, but are they fully present with awareness?
I think that, well, I don't
that's
know. I don't know.
No.
I don't know if that's different, to be honest. Like, what does that even mean compared to fully present and fully present awareness?
Well, I think fully present with awareness is, I think you can be present without even notice you're present. You're being present with your body.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Witnessing the presence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't think that they have awareness when they're newborn.
No.
I think they're just, it's like horses, right? They're just present. They don't know that they are.
And dogs
they just are.
Right?
I don't know. Dogs, they think they have anxiety, so they think a little bit in the future because they fear that we're leaving, and they get excited when we come home. So that's a little bit of
interesting. And horses doesn't have that.
No, I mean, they don't know that. Like, when I come home to my horse, and I've been gone for a month, he doesn't know the difference between this time I came or last time I came when I'd been there like the day before. So they live in the now. It's very interesting.
I think we have a lot to learn about animals.
I mean, that's, I think, the reason why human beings are so attached to their animals, because we feel that connection with them. I mean, there's no mystery why they call dogs the man's best friend.
No.
You know, because
I
they
think
make
it's
us
maybe
feel
because
that thing that we
and the dog just my dog just do what I asked him to do. So then it's also my way of
there's no fight
of being empowered over my dog.
Because you have no power of it. Your kids.
No, exactly not. Totally harmless. No, okay, but I just realized I know too little of animals. I think maybe I should study a little bit more about because I remember you said also this summer, you know, when you talked about your horse paddle boat that we're going to tap into later on, that you actually lost recently, and that present he gave you, what we can learn about that actually, because it's like you said that everything else is stopped around it.
I think I started discovering that when I was little, and I write about this in the blog. That's why I went to the barn when I was little, even though I didn't get to ride. I mean, I didn't have my own horse, and we didn't have a lot of money. So I had one riding lesson a week, and then I spent the rest of the time basically brushing horses and cleaning the barn. But the feeling that I had when I was there, I have sort of sensory, you know, like memories of coming into the stall where Annabelle, the horse that I took care of, was, and what she felt like, and her face, and the smell, and her munching on the hay, and we were connected to each other.
And she was a difficult horse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. She was not an easy ride, you know.
But you had her.
Yeah, I took care of her. But I think that's what I felt there. I felt something there where I felt connected to her heart. And I came back day after day without knowing that that's what I was wanting. That's what I was looking for. I didn't know that that's what I came back for. But when I've been looking at these things, when I've been writing, of course, I realized that that's what it was. Because at the barn, And I realized this years later too, when I got battle boots 17 years ago. This is the only time when I forget what time it is
Mm.
and I forget to eat.
Mm.
I'm always hungry.
Oh,
You know that. I
yeah,
want to
I
eat
know.
all day long. And it's the only time I forget what time it is and that I'm hungry is when I'm at the barn, because I'm present with that. I live in the moment.
Wow, that's yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot to learn from animals. And I think that I was looking at, there's this organization on Instagram called the Gentle Barn. It's an animal rescue. I mean, they rescue
Mm.
everything.
Mm.
And I saw one of their Instagram reels where it talks about the owner, how she was a pretty sad teenager and she felt lost in life and all these things. And then she started this rescue and it had completely transformed her mental state. And now, you know, there's several of this Gentle Barn all around America, and they just take in whoever comes. And I think they probably get a lot of donations just from their Instagram. But the horses, they're real. And cows, they have a lot of images of cows who just like love to crap. I mean, anyway, we can this is, yeah, I can talk about this for a long time, but I think it's an important thing to remember. And I think especially now when we live away from nature, dogs and all these things, it's important.
Because I wrote down I wrote down connection to animals. I wrote a connection to nature, connection to other people, and then the connection to yourself. Because I think that, can we connect to our surrounding if we don't know how to connect with ourselves?
I don't think so. And I write about that in the blog too, right?
And how do we connect to ourselves? And what is the feeling of connection?
Yeah. Okay. So now you're like jumping around. Which one should we do the first question
No,
first?
let's do the first. No, but I think it goes hand in hand, because how could I connect with myself and others if I don't know how it feels to connect?
Yeah. So that's what I
So
was
it
talking
goes.
about. For most of my life, I write, for most of my life, I didn't know how to connect with other people because I was so scared of sharing who I was. So it's kind of two sides of a coin. And if I don't feel like I understand myself or can feel connected to myself or what I'm feeling, then I'm not going to want to open up. And I think a lot of us feel so negatively all the time that I just think it's hard. We have so much going on in our minds that we don't want to share it. And when you have
Yeah,
things going on,
but is it only in our mind? Could it be a self-esteem, a self-acceptance? Could it be
everything,
you know?
everything. I think it's the mind chatter, the random thoughts that go in your mind. Why am I not good enough? And why can't I make this work? And I try so hard. And then simple things like I wish I could be pretty,
Mm.
so it's endless. And I think that we all have it. I think we all have it. I think an overabundance of all that negativity is what turns into depression. I mean, it's not something new here that we all.
No, but I mean, you could be connected to yourself and have a depression.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think it's mostly a definition of words. Connected to yourself and sad, yes.
But I could
It's
be connected and feel that I'm depressed.
yeah, yeah, I guess you're right. I always think about
But connection for
when
me, when I see the word, it's for me, it's a positive thing.
this is very good because I feel for me is when I feel
Mm.
connected.
Mm.
It is like a warm, and for lack of better words, open-hearted,
Mm.
fuzzy blanket feeling. Negative emotion, resentment, anger cuts me off from feeling that. And then on the other end, when if you and I were hanging out and you're feeling very resentful about something that's happening with you, I will feel disconnected from you because I sense when the other person around me is distracted by their resentments.
Mm.
I mean, that happened when I was growing up. I could feel when people close to me were sad or something. I could feel their energy, and I
Well, we
still
can.
can.
Yeah, I think a lot of people,
And
if
it
you
makes
allow
me,
yourself.
yeah. And then I get like a pit in my stomach because I know that that other person isn't present with me, and I felt lonely because of that before.
So I mean, we talked a little bit about connecting to animal and connect to nature. let's deepen the connection to ourselves. What kind of work can I do to connect deeper to myself? Because it must be a self-acceptance also in connecting with ourselves.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's that's a big word. I don't think that that's an action. The first thing
but
that one,
acceptance is an action. To accept.
yeah, but it's an action verb. But it's, if you think about it, if you're newly sober and you're in traffic and you're angry and you say, I have to accept this,
If I have
then
to surrender, it's the same.
yeah, but
It's
it's
big
hard.
words.
What I'm saying is, if you want tools to get to the place where you're even able to self-accept, it's more like making sure that when you're moving around in life, do it half as fast as you were doing it. If you move slowlier, like we talked about during the summer, then there's more space for you to even see that you can accept. I find that all the time, that I like rush around and I'm like, why am I doing this in a fast motion? Because then you're completely disconnected from yourself. If I slow down and feel my feet and feel the air coming in and out of my nose and just move slowlier, then all of a sudden I feel more connected. So that's what I mean with an action. I'm not
Yeah.
giving you words like, oh, you have to surrender, because if you are
No,
rushing
no, but
around and angry,
yeah. But that's what I wanted also to hear. I wanted to have tools that people who are listening maybe could, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I could try this. And I think that, you know, you even told me this summer, Louise, slow down. And I even thought of this morning when I went swimming. I was like, oh, interesting. When I slow down, the water is not that cold, which would, you know, because I feel, and now it's starting to be a little bit colder here. So, you know, I will start rushing and then it's like, oh, slow down. So that really made a difference for me. So I'm completely with you on that as one of the tools to slow down your actions in present life.
yeah.
But couldn't
And
also
then
the connection to no, I mean, like if we're talking about connecting to ourselves, which I haven't had since the, you know, I haven't connected with myself since the past, until the past 5 years, I think, or maybe 10 years, or when I started with yoga. But even with yoga, I can talk for myself, and I can also see for my students, people get very close to themselves, and when they get too close to themselves, they rather go to CrossFit. And I guess that's what yoga is doing. You know, it's finding the true path to yourself. So you need to, and that's what I mean with an accept and the courage, the surrender, you know, all these beautiful terms. But we don't have to nerd into those. But couldn't one thing, by connecting with the body, you said, feel your feet, feel the foundation, breathe into your body. Well, that's also connecting, right? The breath is connecting to your body.
I think that those are the actions we can take
Yeah.
in regular life. And then moving on, if you meditate or you have some sort of like mindfulness practice, I mean, that mindfulness is the beginning of connection, because you're watching the negative thoughts or watching whatever thoughts you have, and you rest in your true self, which is the watcher, the witness. And in that state, you are deeply connected because you're in the present moment. And that can be done for a minute at a time. It's a fun game to sort of start trying, like with things that aren't so awful, because you can't start this stuff with somebody passing or terrible diseases, but your kid doesn't want to do what you want to do and they're driving you nuts. You can witness your emotion or your resistance to what's happening and shift it.
And how would you shift it?
It's awareness. I think for me, my everyday job is to remember to surrender, to, because I believe and I know for real that behind everything is an energy that is nurturing. So when I get too triggered or too resistant to what's happening in the moment and feeling disconnected, then I take that step back and I watch what's happening and I watch how I'm feeling. And I go, wow, why am I, curiosity is mindfulness 101, right? With curiosity, I go, why am I so upset by this? And then I
Very
usually
important.
say, well, it's because XYZ, something triggers me about the event that triggered me, maybe when I was a kid, or my parents, or something like that I didn't like when I was younger. And it's usually something that you can dial back and you can find the culprit of these resentments. And resentments block you from feeling connected.
And how would you describe resentments comes when, because resentments is a feeling, but also a negative energy that blocks us.
It's anger.
Mm.
You know, it's that classical thing like, oh, I came home and my husband hasn't done the dishes. And then you walk around and be grumpy about that. That's resentment, a complete waste of time. But we all have them and we all live with them. And that's another conversation. But being mindful of, because if that happens, you come home, you're resentful because somebody didn't do the dishes, then you're immediately disconnected from each other. Because negative emotion disconnect you from the people around you. Maybe not from yourself, but it does create a wall there.
Could we, I want to continue from connecting to ourselves. I mean, nature and animals would also be a key or support to connect to our inner self.
Yeah, it's what we do. Not everybody, you know, not everybody can't go connect with nature. People live in cities and they don't have access to a forest. But I mean, that's, you know, people go for walks and people go sit on the beach and people go hiking. It's all that thing. It's all in the same category of shifting where we are to something else, not just exercise. My cousin actually told me about something called like forest baths or something in Japan where people.
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Yeah, I know.
Do you go into the forest and just feel
it's
like the
amazing.
energy of them? Yeah. And
They
for
do
me,
it here too in Denmark.
really, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did without even knowing during COVID. I mean, I had to be outside. Had to. Every day I had a whole routine that I did, you know, I went to the forest and that's what I'm gonna do after this with my dog. So
yeah, but we talked about connection and what you did during COVID, the sense of going into the forest bath that they do in Japan, and they also have some of that here in Denmark. It becomes very popular, but that's also because it is scientifically proof that human connects when they are with animals and nature.
it's incredible.
So, and I mean, there are people, lonely people that wants to be alone, but can be happily connected to themselves and to nature.
Yeah.
And we haven't really touched about connection to other people, how, you know, a dialogue from heart to heart is one way to connect. You know, to be an inspiration to other people is also to connect.
Yeah, but I think it's important to remember that you can feel connected to people without talking too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about that a lot, especially with my younger daughter, who I spend a lot of time with. We're completely connected. We're not always talking.
No.
And actually, it feels like sometimes the words get in the way of feeling truly connected to other people.
And I guess connection could travel through prayers. If we really sit down and meditate and we really send prayer to other people, I can feel connected with these people.
I guess that's like a connected through the soul.
And I guess maybe that's what church is doing for a lot of people, or other, you know, spiritual practices.
Yeah,
where,
church is a community, and that's why people
Yeah.
go there, so they can have other people around them that are all sort of thinking about the same thing. So it's like AA meetings. You feel connected to people that AA meeting because they're struggling with the same.
Yeah, but then they're present. I mean, like, you know, you can feel connected with people that are not, you know, I can feel from time to time during the day very connected to my sister. I could feel connected to my mom. I feel that I can connect even with my dad, even if he passed away. I can't Skype to him and I can't hold his hand, but if I really allow myself to tap into that energy. So the connection must be something that we also can train so it can grow.
Yeah, I think so.
It can be elastic.
Because if we slow down and then we feel it more, and then we decide that we're going to be in that present space where you can feel connected to each other. I mean, you have to be present.
But also, you know, when you, during this summer, when I remember when you missed Battle Boots, I wrote to you the day before, how are you doing? Because I could feel a connection of that something was not,
Yeah.
you know, that you know, so connection is also to feel another person's worries or challenges or suffering.
Because it's all coming from the present moment. And if we're in the present moment, we're all connected together.
How wonderful. I will only be in the present moment, I think.
Good luck.
Do you have a pill for that?
Good luck.
I think Novo Nordisk should do that medication. I would be absolutely. That's probably what they try to do with the drugs that we haven't mentioned in this pod episode. But we need to fly over that as well. That of course the drugs could make us feel connected to ourselves.
That's what you're doing. Alcohol, drugs is the human way to try to connect or try to calm this negative thought stream so that we do feel better. I mean, that's what alcohol is about. Start drinking at the end of the day because you're exhausted and you need to calm yourself down. It's the human way, and has been like that for thousands of years, to shut it down, to feel calm, to connect with other people. It doesn't work. So
don't
we have to look for other ways.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I know they do in your children's school, but I'm thinking of all the schools here in Scandinavia. They're definitely not doing it that much. But how wonderful it would be because children is so curious about things, and they're so curious of their own, of the body, of they're just curious. Why not explore presence with children much more in school? So, if people learned, I mean, if we learned before in school how to be more present, I know maybe we wouldn't be that scared, and we would not maybe have done so much drugs.
I don't think that you can learn from school how to be present. I think that kids learn to be present from the people around them when they grow up. So if you're present, your kids are going to be present. It's not a subject in school, Louise.
No, but I mean, they spend so much time in school. So I mean, that of course, if the teacher are present in their way, it's a big important. And I think that just bringing words up like that, I think that will create another energy, instead of just talking about how to perform, what to strive for. I got a 5. We're missing
Endless.
out of the. Yeah, but we're
achievement is more important than connection.
Is that how you want to end this part today? Yeah,
but that's what people say. I mean, that's what people think.
Yeah, and I think that maybe we could go parallel with these things: connection, achievement, instead of just having achievement and not connect at all. It's yin and yang. We want to have balance. I'm happy I feel connected with you.
Well, you better.
And I also feel connected with my computer.
I feel connected with my Instagram.
But maybe that's, not maybe. That we said that because when I got hacked, when I restarted the Instagram, I followed your advice of everything I do, I want to do it with the heart. If I want to do it with the heart, I need to connect to my heart first. And then it resonates differently.
I took a class on Instagram, how to make it, this is all silly stuff, but the woman that ran the class, she said, you have to bless your Instagram as if it's your baby, it's your art, and ever since I did that and started thinking about it's like a mini messaging service. It's helping me send messages, which is what I think is my dharma, is to create messages or pass on the things that I've learned. And it's helping me do that in this amazing way. So I'm totally grateful that it's there.
Wonderful.
So if I can connect with what I'm creating, then of course it's going to resonate more.
So we want to end today's podcast with, please connect with whatever you want. I just get this silly images in front of me, how you how you plug it in, how you kind of plug it in, I want to plug it in your heart.
Yeah, slow down. Slow down.
Yeah, that would be, I will actually put up that as a mantra on all my things at the moment, I think. I'm going to do that for a week, and then we can connect next week and we can see how it went. So why don't you guys also try to slow down, maybe put it up as a little reminder. And if you want, you can always email us and tell us about your little journey, about slowing down and connect.
That sounds wonderful.
All
right, baby.
Okay. Oh, she calls me baby. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you later, I guess.
Thank you so much, honey, for today. It was beautiful.
I love you.
I love you. And bye to everyone who's been listening. And thank you for listening to our podcast. We love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.